Today at 5, a Tabor woman isn't allowed to run for public school trustee because of her religion. Plus, a Lethbridge man is not labeled a long-term sex offender despite some very drastic measures to try and stop his child porn addiction. And lost in translation.
To learn about each of my students.
A look at the growing need of volunteers to teach English.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. A Tabor woman is out to change the Provincial School Act after discovering that she can't run for a position as a public school trustee. Tamara Manugaga was planning to run for a spot on the Horizon School Board, but is ineligible because she's Roman Catholic. Terry Vogt has the story.
Tamara Miyanaga is back at work only a few days after taking a short-lived sabbatical so she could run in the upcoming civic election. Things didn't turn out as planned.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
A former Citizen of the Year and Max Gibb Award winner, Miyanaga had hoped to run for public school trustee in Ward 3 of the Horizon School Division. But you won't see any of her election signs around town because she's Catholic.
When I picked up the nomination package, the deputy returning officer had to ask what religious affiliation you are, and since I'm Catholic, he had to let me know that, as he understood, I couldn't run for public school board trustee when there is a separate school jurisdiction in your ward.
The Miyanagas may be Catholic, but their taxes go to the public school district, and all three of their daughters have attended public schools. In fact, 2 are still students here at W.R. Myers.
I felt it was a prudent time while you have kids who are, 1 who's recently left and 2 who are in, so I felt it was a relevant time for me to be involved.
But the School Act says no. Miyanaga says her research indicates some of its provisions go back to the Ordinance of the Northwest Territories in 1901. Many local residents seem to agree with Miyanaga that the law needs to be brought up to date.
I'm not happy. I think she'd be awesome on there, and I can't believe that that's a rule. That's disgusting.
Doesn't matter what your religion is, not as far as I'm concerned.
No.
You could be pink with purple polka dots. And as long as you can get the job done, which I know Tamara could, she would be great.
The province does have a new Education Act in the works which addresses the religious discrimination, but it's too late for this election. Since Miyanaga can't run for public school trustee, she's embarking on a new campaign, writing letters to the Premier and others to make sure the proposed changes are put in place before the next civic election 4 years from now. Terry Vogt, CTV News, Tabor.
Miyanaga says if the School Act is changed, she may run in the next election, but by then her daughters will no longer be in school. And with the municipal election officially underway, we wanted to know what some of the big topics are for you this time.
I think that accountability and red tape within City Hall is a top issue for me, as well as the plan around downtown.
Just curious as to where any candidates stand as far as the location of the current gun range and if that's going to be addressed at all.
Coming from Calgary, the buses run a little bit later than they do here, especially on weekends, so it's a little bit difficult to adjust to.
Some trails down in the coulees that I would like to see remain natural and not be disturbed by the city. That's probably my biggest concern.
Now, the Friends of the Galt are holding a meet and greet for the public and Lethbridge Council candidates right now at the downtown library. It runs until 5:30 tonight. Oh, Dory, those winds. We're going to see a lot more of those winds over the next few days.
Well, you know, the good news, Jackie, just in the last hour or so is actually tomorrow we have a really good chance of seeing them reduce, especially in the afternoon hours as things start to stabilize. So that's really good news. There has been some tree damage in some areas. Some younger trees got the brunt of the winds from yesterday, and so I had some neighbors saying that they had some problems in that area. So and less wind will be a good thing for anyone. And we're going to talk more about upcoming weather in just a couple of minutes, and it's looking pretty good.
Okay, Dory. More weather on the way. A Lethbridge man has been sentenced to 3 years behind bars and counseling because of his child porn addiction, but he will not be labeled a long-term sex offender. 31-year-old Patrick Rickman admitted to possessing child pornography after a memory stick containing some very graphic images was found at a computer lab at the University of Lethbridge back in August of 2009. But Rickman was charged with breaching his bail conditions after Calgary police found almost 200 child porn images on his laptop after the initial charges were laid. At a court hearing in Calgary, Rickman admitted he tried to castrate himself 2 years ago because he believed it was the only way to control his urges. While Rickman was sentenced to 3 years behind bars, 3 years probation, and addiction counseling, the courts did not believe Rickman's offenses warranted a long-term offender designation. That would have added up to 10 years of supervision after Rickman's release from prison. Well, there's no update on the condition of a man after he was shot by Medicine Hat police. The last we heard, the man was listed in critical condition. The shooting happened Monday night after police got a call about a man with a gun. Police say when they got to a home, the armed man tried to leave. Several shots were fired. The man was taken to hospital. No one else was hurt. The Alberta Serious Incident Response Team is now investigating, and the 3 officers involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave. A trial date has been set in Invermere in a manslaughter case. 31-year-old Corey Jarek was found dead outside a home in Invermere in April, just hours after being asked to leave a house party. Police have charged 23-year-old Brian Panayenko in Jarek's death. Panayenko's trial will be held in Cranbrook Supreme Court from January 14th to the 24th of next year. West Lethbridge's new Copperwood Elementary School will be part of a P3 partnership plan between the public school district, the city, and Family Centre. Lethbridge School District number 51 is committing $125,000 to building a $500,000 Parent Link Centre at the school. And that centre is going to be offering additional support to families on the west side. The Copperwood School is expected to open in 2016. As the population of foreign nationals in Lethbridge continues to grow every year, so does the need for volunteers to teach them English. The public library is in desperate need of tutors of all ages and backgrounds to help newcomers learn the basic skills to survival and thriving in Lethbridge. Jeanette Roche has more.
I like to learn about each of my students, their background.
Back home in South Korea, Paul Kim is a medical doctor.
From there.
But here in Canada, he's learning to read and speak English.
The problem I had in speaking English was that even though I knew, by looking up dictionary, but there is slight difference in pronunciation and listening.
For the past year and a half, Kim has been getting English tutoring by a volunteer in the Read On adult literacy program at the Lethbridge Public Library. The program is more conversational than academic, showing students where to pause in sentences and which words to stress.
It's such a wonderful program that students can come and take what they need to improve their daily lives.
Over the years, the library has seen the program blossom as Lethbridge becomes more of a hub for foreign nationals.
It's grown from approximately 114 in 2000 to 308 in 2012-13, and working with those students, 135 tutors.
We really could use tutors. We need them. We have so many people willing to come to learn, and we really require the tutors to come and participate with us. And it doesn't take much time from their lives, but they will reap greater rewards by being a tutor.
Volunteers don't need a teaching background either. The students come from all walks of life, so the tutors should too.
To me, it's always a good feeling when you can contribute to another person, to the betterment of their life. That's what my philosophy is. Life isn't worth living if you can't help somebody else.
Jeanette Roche, CTV News, Lethbridge.
For more information on how to become a tutor, you can visit the library's website at leth.lib.ca. On to the markets now, where the Dow and S&P ended lower for a 5th straight day over concerns of gridlock in Washington.